Oh, I got radio turned on. Make sure that doesn't turn on. Oh, we are live. Let me turn my Bluetooth off for a second because I think it just tried to interface through my car. Technology. Let me see here. Bluetooth off. Turn it off. Okay, Bluetooth's off. Now you should be able to hear me a little bit better. Let me make sure it's not screwing anything up. We should be live. All right, yeah, 2 people. Thanks. I'm just sitting in my car. I just got out of the my local hobby shop because they have Black Friday sales on, like a lot of places do for this week. And I got a couple things. So I thought I'd just do a quick little impromptu video of showing what I got in this bag. So today is Saturday, the Saturday after Black Friday. I'm a Canadian, so Black Friday isn't really a huge thing. Well, it is now. A decade ago, we didn't do it at all. It used to just be Boxing Day. Now we do Black Friday more than Boxing Day, and we still have the same deals that USA does pretty much, but with our own kind of unique Canadian twist on it. Saturday, kind of the theme for Saturdays now is shop local, shop small business. So I drove across town to my local Great Hobbies hobby store because they've recently moved. They're now in Nepean, Ontario on 540 West Hunt Club Road. And they have a sale on, 10% off everything in store. As well as when you go in store, then they have some additional kind of bonus deals on some items as well. I didn't buy any of the well, I kind of got an extra deal on something, but that's because something I wanted wasn't in stock. But let me just quickly go through some of the stuff that I got. It's a little bit of a random bag, not a huge amount of stuff, but a lot of things that I needed. And one thing that was a little bit of a splurge, but also something that I needed. All right, first thing, racing wheels. J Concepts Mono. These mono wheels are an excellent value if you're a racer because you get a 4-pack. So these are 4-wheel drive buggy wheels. I'm kind of covering up what size they're for right now, but they're called J Concepts Mono. These are excellent racing wheels for buggies. You can get them in 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. So I bought a full set. So I got a full set. Here's the fronts and here's the rears. Now, I bought these because they're different offset. You'll see here that they say for B6, B6.1, B44, sorry, B64, X-Max, Yokomo, and Serpent. So that's the thing about these racing cars is they haven't standardized on an offset wheel yet. So you have to pay attention to what you have. My current car, which is the Techno, uses TLR offset wheels. And then my TLR 2-wheel drive, the TLR 5.0 DC Elite, also uses TLR offset wheels. They kind of make their own thing. These are for another buggy that I recently purchased. So yeah, I picked up a Yokomo YZ2 DTM3, which is their latest and greatest Yokomo 2-wheel drive racing car. And I put a picture of that on my community channel if you just want to see the teaser of it. I didn't give any context about it. I just said I did a thing, and I showed the picture of the Yokomo box. Just to give you guys some context, that buggy is not brand new. That is a used buggy that I picked up from a local racer because he is moving to another brand. I'll let him disclose that at that time, and I'll make videos about that later on. But I picked up his Yokomo. So that's a 6-month-old Yokomo. It's the latest and greatest model. And I will be getting that running and then comparing it against my TLR and then making a decision there if I want to stay with the TLR or go to Yokomo or then also go to something else as well. I want to try and get a bit more brands in my experience as well as for the channel so that I can show you and compare the differences. So I needed different offset wheels. So that's what these are for. So these will work with any associated Yokomo, Serpent, X-Ray. This is the offset you need for those. Interestingly enough, the Yokomo is actually not AE offset, but J Concepts kind of made it where it's close enough where they decided to make it work for all. So there's a 0.5 millimeter difference between Associated and Yokomo, according to RC Tech forums, the people who have actually taken a caliper and measured the offset. When we're talking about wheel offset, that's from the inside hex. I'm not gonna, well, I guess I could open this up and show you. Might as well show you one. I don't know why I'm not opening it. Oh, that was a failed rip. Yeah, now I've ripped it and I can't get it open, so it was my fault. Anyway, the offset is from the hex to the outside diameter of the wheel. I'm rambling on. Got new tires, got new wheels. Also got new racing tires. Because everything was 10% off, you know, this stuff doesn't really go on sale often. I decided to go with Proline this time. I'm gonna, I have ran these before. These are Positron in MC compound. MC is their clay compound tires. Positron, I can again show you the tread as well. That's what a positron looks like. It's the equivalent, in my opinion, this is the equivalent of Ellipse. And I have ran these before. I really like them. You also get nice blue closed cell foams on the inside, so that's excellent. So yeah, I got some Proline positrons and some J Concepts wheels. I do mix and match brands like that. Since I'm not sponsored by any tire or brand company, you know, I can do that. So I try and buy the best value and best performing stuff that I can. So I really like these J Concepts mono wheels. As I mentioned, these are the best value you can get because you get 4 of them in a pack, and they're really strong. I have rarely, if ever, cracked these, versus when you tend to buy the actual brand name like Schumacher, TLR. I've had a lot of other Rams and they crack right up. These ones seem extra strong too, so I really like that idea. So wheels and tires for race car, that's something that I'm always going to need as I'm racing. Then the last thing, well, not the last thing, but the other thing that I ended up getting was I went in there to get a new speed control, and I was looking online because Great Hobbies does have an excellent online inventory. You can go to greathobbies.com and you can see in-store stock for all locations, and it's usually in sync with the stores. So there was the Hobbywing XR8 SCT. That is an excellent APS-C. It supports up to 4S LiPo. I think you could run it on 6S as well if you run it on an extra light vehicle, but the XR8 SCT is an excellent racing speed control, and it was $10 off plus 10% off, and it said they had one in stock. So I went in store to go and get it, and then they couldn't find it. It was either phantom inventory or it had just sold, or, you know, the staff was looking all over for me. They did do an excellent job of trying to find it. We waited around while they looked everywhere, and they couldn't find it. So I did not get the XR8 SCT. I'm not that upset about it because it was going to be a compromise where I was buying that for a future race car build, and then I was going to temporarily use that in my Limitless to get that going again, because the Armor Limitless I made as a budget speed build, and I blew up the budget ESC. As soon as I hit 6S on it, I blew up the budget ESC. That was my fault, because that was only a 120 amp ESC, and I just wanted to see what would happen, and yeah, it blew up. No big surprise there. So I didn't get the XR8, and then I was thinking about, well, I really want to get something that has sensor ability, has all the race programming, but then is also beefy enough to use in the Limitless as well. So yeah, I had to spend $100 more, but I got the Castle Creations Mamba X 8S. This is a top-line 8S ESC. Now, they're marketing it as 8S, but when I put it in my Limitless, I'm not going to be able to run it at 8S, because to run it at 8S, you need like an 800 kV motor, or under 1000 kV usually. So I'll be running it on 6S, but even then, I should be able to run my like 2200 kV motor at 6S, and it'll be ballistically fast. That other cheap ESC that I had in my Limitless, it would constantly hit its current limit, and it was like pulsing before it blew up. This thing has the newest technology in it, where it's got some sort of like solid state technology. Whatever chips they put in this thing, it's extremely strong. So if you want to learn more about this, I think it's Innovation RC does a lot of speed runs, and he's used this and he's got it going like ridiculously fast, faster than I ever intend to go. I just wanted a ESC that is super strong, also has the race programming ability, and has sensor ability too. So that's the Mamba X8S. So that is an excellent ESC, and I look forward to getting this out of the box and then programming it and getting it running in the Limitless. So now that I've spent the extra money, this was a on sale. I got this for like $250 Canadian. It's expensive. The Hobbywing was going to be $100 less than this. So yeah, not really what I intended to get, but this is the better model. I just think it will be overkill for racing. So this is probably going to be a basher and speed duty ESC, and I'll put it through its paces, but I doubt that I will use this for racing unless I decide that it actually is a good fit for that. I don't know. We'll find out long term. And then the last thing that I got was just because I don't really like soldering on double connectors to an ESC. So I like the idea of the Y cables more. So I got the Spectrum Smart pre-done EC5 Y connector. So this will let me plug in one, plug in the other, and run 2 batteries into the one connector going into the speed control. Now that maybe gives a bottleneck of going through one extra connector that you don't need to, but we'll see. This is just gives me some flexibility also for other vehicles where if I want to run 2 batteries into one, I can do that. Or sorry, it's 2 batteries into one ESC, I can do that as I make some other custom builds in the future that I want to do that are back burner projects. You know, this is just good for parts anyway. The other nice thing about these EC5 connectors is that you can easily just unclip this, unsolder them, and reuse them. So even though I'm buying this pre-done, if I decide that I need this in a different configuration, I can always just unsolder it and redo it. Y seems a little safer. Sorry, I missed that. Cancel. How do I get the chat back? Why not? Seems a little safer this way. I'm not sure what you mean for the speed control or for the Y adapter, but yeah, those are the things that I got. I also did order some other stuff online yesterday. So today the theme was shop local. So I'm going to go around to some other local stores in the area now that I'm out in town, but I just got a couple of things there. The thing that I almost walked out with from my local hobby shop was the DR10, but I didn't. Just because I have too many other things going on that are going to cost me big money soon. The video that's coming out tomorrow will show some of that. It's related to vehicles, like real one-to-one vehicles, so you'll get to see what's been draining my bank account for that tomorrow. So I tried to limit myself for spending today, but I went in there, I supported my local hobby shop, I picked up some local deals, and that should keep me racing and get me ready to try out that new Yokomo, so now I have the wheels and tires to set that up. And I think I'll be transferring over my electronics from the TLR into the Yokomo. Maybe not in December. It might end up being in a few weeks or a month. Some YouTubers have too many RCs to actually use them all properly. I certainly do. I mean, I'll raise my hand. I'm guilty of that. I have too many. I don't get to use them all. Many of them are just sitting. And I feel a little bit guilty about that. But I also have them as a fleet for you guys, for this channel, so that I can make content whenever I want about a certain vehicle. So I'm trying to keep an inventory that's good for bashing and also good for racing, and I'm trying to trend more towards the racing over time because I have more fun with that. It's more of a challenge for me, and it's what I'm most passionate about. Cheaper than having more than one wife. Yeah, I certainly bet that is. Variety is good. Yeah, variety is good. I like to play around with that, have some crawlers, have some bashers, just try it all. Have some on-road racers, off-road racers. I saw someone commented in there, am I still running Techno? Yeah, absolutely. Techno is my preferred racing brand, but they only do off-road and they only do four-wheel drive. So if it's a two-wheel drive or an on-road, I'm kind of branching out to some other brands. So if you have just joined in earlier, I mentioned that I'm going to be trying a Yokomo two-wheel drive 10th scale buggy. That's a two-wheel drive. When does on-road season kick off? It already has, but it's very sporadic times and dates. So the last one was November 22nd, and I didn't go because their COVID protocols are extremely strict, and it's a 1.5 hour drive for me to get out there. And I just wasn't prepared because I've been doing off-road every week for so long that I don't have my on-road cars ready to go at all. But I have all the same on-road cars, mostly all Tamiyas. So I have the TA07 Pro, the TRF 419, and what was my other one? Oh, the man truck, the TT01 trucks. I don't expect I'm going to be doing on-road this year, unless I get scheduled into December, January, and we do it. I don't know. We'll see. I'm having difficulty with my 410.2. What's your difficulty? Throw your difficulty in. I'll try and answer it real quick. I must say my Techno EB4 10.2 has exceeded all of my expectations, but I did not build that to the kit spec build. I went on Petite RC and I downloaded, I think his name was Jared Wiggins, and I'm basically running his setup with some slight tweaks. So that changed my front end. The hinge pin inserts in my front end are set up for that, as well as I also put in softer weight oils in the rear. So I'm kind of tuned for my climate and my track, because we're in wintertime, the track is not heated. You should try the EB48 2.0, great handling e-buggy. I've heard that. I've heard that a lot. I also have been very happy with my EB48.3, and some people were telling me, oh, you should have got the 0.4. I looked up the details on the 0.4, and the 0.4 was actually designed to make it a little bit easier to drive, but it's not necessarily faster than the 0.3. So the 0.4 made the steering a little bit less twitchy, and it also changed some of the bearing configurations and stuff on the rear end, which some people don't like. Now the 2.0, the EB48 2.0, is completely different track, and or a completely different chassis and setup, and everyone is raving about how great it is. I might do that. It's a really expensive kit though, and I should have mentioned it when it came up last week, but Tower Hobbies in the USA has been doing these sudden flash sales every now and then. And last week they had a flash sale on the EB48 2.0, 25% off. And I was so pissed off because I cannot get it in Canada. Tower Hobbies changed their online system in the summer, and when they switched over to the new website, they shut off everything except for USA for shipping. And they said, oh, don't worry guys, we'll get international shipping working again for the holiday season. They didn't. So all those awesome flash sales, I can't participate in. Now, that kind of goes against the whole shop local thing that I just started out with, but that's a whole different thing. When you're talking about that massive of a discount, that's where it's hard to compete with, because locals can't compete with that. You know, if Tower Hobbies is a subsidiary of Horizon Hobby, and whatever deal they made with Techno for that day, I don't know how they do that, but that was a stupendous deal on that buggy. So yeah, I don't know if we're ever going to get Tower Hobbies shipping to Canada again, but apparently I said, oh, well, you can call in and order. Well, you can't call in and use the online codes, and you can't call in and use Easy Pay, so all of the benefits of their nice new website, I cannot use as a Canadian. Anyway, what can you do? Shop local. That's what you can do. All right, let me scroll back up, see what we got here. 25% off is a steal. Yeah, it was. I 100% would have bought that. And the week before, they had the EB48, they had the EB4 10.2 on sale the week before. So keep an eye out for those flash sales. It's completely random what they put on there, but I was shocked that they put on the two brand new Techno buggies. Probably because these high-end race kits are not a high volume thing, and so they likely have inventory that they're trying to get rid of. But heck of a deal if you're in the market for those. Anyway, that reeks of politics. Yeah, kind of. I don't know what's happening with that, but I'm more disappointed that they promised that they would have it working for the holiday season, and they didn't. I remember Tower Harbors in the 90s. It was glorious. Yeah, it's pretty good. Now it's owned by Horizon. So Tower used to be the online presence for Hobbico, and then Horizon Hobby took over Hobbico. So now Horizon Hobby has Horizon site and Tower. It's like they've got these dual personalities, but they're all funneling money into the same entity. Same as, like I say, go shop local. You know, whatever. Actually, nothing today came from Horizon. That's rare. But probably 90% of the RC inventory that's in there is a Horizon Hobby entity brand now. They're almost becoming a monopoly, besides, you know, Associated and Traxxas and some of the other fringe things. A lot of things are Horizon owned now. Yeah, it seems like the 10 biggest hobby sites are just different fronts for only two companies. It is getting to be that way, yeah. Pete's Fierce Solutions have a Techno 410.2 for $50 off. That's pretty good. Not the same as 25% off, but pretty good. Anyway, I'm going to shut this down here soon. I just wanted to check in with you guys and say hi, and do one of those like live, what did I get from the hobby shop things. If you joined in late, just quickly recapping. I got J Concepts mono wheels for different offset because I'm going to be trying a Yokomo YZ2 two-wheel drive buggy. Don't worry if you're a TLR fan. I will explain that, and well, you might worry a little bit because I have kind of roasted TLR a little bit by their lack of maintenance access and just not being on par with some things like diff access, ball cup access, things of that nature. But I really like the car. I just don't like working on the car at all. And I've been fighting setup for a long time. So I'm going to compare the Yokomo versus the TLR, and we'll see what comes out on top, in my brain anyway. And so I got some wheels, I got some tires, some positrons and MC. Thanks, haven't popped in before, just thought it was a YouTube suggestion. Hey, thanks for joining. Check out my inventory of videos. I've got tons of them at this point. A lot of RC stuff, some tech stuff, some car stuff as well. A Mamba X8S, a premium top-of-the-line 8S Speedrunners ESC, because the Hobby Wing wasn't in stock that I went to go get instead. And so this is overkill, but I got this for my Limitless, so this will be doing speed runs. And then if I decide that it needs to come out and go into something else, it'll run pretty much anything else that I own, including my X-Max, I think. It'll do it all. This is a strong ESC. And then the Y cable to EC5 Y cable, just because it's a decent value. Will the Yokomo be ready for Wednesday? No, it's not going to be ready for maybe even this year. Although I technically have everything I need to get it going now that I've got wheels and tires. I just don't think I'm really motivated to make the switch yet. We'll see. It'll happen eventually. I'm just not sure exactly when. I also don't have quite enough equipment to get both running simultaneously, so I'm close. I could put a 17.5 in the Yokomo. I could put a different ESC in the Yokomo. I'm just short a servo, a nice fast racing servo. Anyway, I don't know what I'm doing. I doubt that I'll have both of them running back to back, although that would be a good idea. But really what I want to do, and now I'm remembering that I had this idea that I should do it this way, take all the electronics out of the TLR, plunk them in the Yokomo, drive it. And that way I'll get to see the difference in the chassis and the difference in the setup. Alrighty guys, we've been going for 22 minutes. Thanks for all the videos. It has been Good Luck Racing. It has been helping Good Luck Racing. Thanks. Hi from Australia. Wow, great. Nice seeing you. Castle is much better for speedruns than Hobby Wing. I have heard that, yeah. So for a speedrun ESC, I do think that's the better choice. That wasn't initially what I was doing. I was initially going in there to try and get the Hobby Wing XR8 SCT Pro, because that's an excellent value 8-scale racing ESC that I could also have put in the Limitless for short term, just to run it on 4S and maybe 6. I probably would have blew it up on 6S on the Limitless. So maybe it's a good idea that it wasn't in stock, because that would have hurt me to kill a Hobby Wing. But that Castle will be bulletproof for that speed run. I'm not going to throw 8S at it though. You still, even though it's marketed as an 8S ESC, it's only 8S at like 1,000 kilovolt motor and under. Like they have a pairing at the hobby shop where you can get that speed control with an 800 kV ESC. It's like $600. I don't need that, so I'll be just running my 2200 kV on my Limitless with that 8S speed control in a 4S and 6S system. Alrighty, so yeah. In summary, I got wheels, I got tires, I got a new ESC. So the new ESC is to get the Limitless back up and running, and the wheels and tires are to get the new Yokomo up and running. New to me. It's a used car, but it's the newest version of it. It's the Yokomo YZ2 DTM3. It's their late 2019 version of their dirt buggy. It's a 2-wheel drive 10 scale. Look it up if you want, or I put a picture on my community post of what it looks like, or the box anyway. It is used, so it's a used race car, but it's 6 months old, so it's practically brand new from a race car's perspective. Very little runtime on it in the grand scheme of things, so it was a good value for me to jump into a different brand and try it out. Alrighty guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're new on here, subscribe. If you want to talk to me, leave a comment down below. And as always, thanks for watching. Oh, one last question. I'm driving a Jetta. Now, I thought I would find myself in one, but I like the no drama handling. That's funny. Yeah. Jettas are fairly no drama, although if you put your foot down fast enough, you can probably get that front axle and wheels to spin up a little bit. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.